If you're looking for a good scenario to play as a war game, it'll come as no surprise that many of them include a river and a bridge, and many scenarios of course include buildings, so it's no surprise that Heroes All has a set of rules that cover these tabletop features. Now, I don't have any problem with admitting that the rules for buildings and structures are very old school Donald Featherstone, in that different structures are allocated at different points of value, and obviously if you shoot at it with artillery you inflict a certain points worth of damage, and those points are then reduced off the value of the asset until it gets to 0, in which case it's considered to be a heap of rubble. So let's start by looking at a simple obstruction like this barbed wire across the road. It's a very simple obstruction, and if you inflict 1 point of damage on it, it goes away, as does any other roadblock or loose obstacle stuck in the way, like a tree. Now, buildings are worth more points depending on what they are and the stronger they get, as you would understand. So a small wooden hut or a barn like this is only worth a couple of points, and then you go up via small stone buildings, houses and barns, bigger buildings like factories or churches, and also pillboxes and bunkers. These worth 6 points. And I use this system really to keep things as simple as possible. There's enough going on during the game with regard to all of the sort of troops on either side and the other rules you've got to obey. You don't need a vast bookkeeping system for every building, so it's a simple thing just to keep a little tab by each one showing its initial value and what it's worth now. And because I like consistency and where practical, simplicity, I use the same system for bridges. And the simplest form of river crossing is to have no bridge at all, but just to have a ford, and these don't impose any movement penalties, but they are affected by weather, and if the weather is bad, these fords can become impassable. Now, bridges are categorised between type A, which are only worth 2 points, and include sort of small wooden and very small structures over small rivers, through type B, type C and type D, and you'll find rules are there so that if they start to take hits and reduce in value, then the amount of traffic they can carry is less and less, as you would expect. And of course, if the bridge is down, you need an alternative, so there are rules for use of boats, for wading across rivers where possible, where the scenario allows, etc, etc. And of course, in a more modern warfare, you bring up your special tanks and they lay a bridge for you. And so you can get the best out of rivers and bridges in your games because the definitions of the rules are all there. And the more help we give you to use these features in your games, the more fun they're going to be. And you will appreciate already that some of the rules we've covered, like work and tasks, dovetails into all this when you're trying to build a pontoon bridge to get over the river because the bridge has been blown by the explosives, which we've already covered as well. So it's beginning to come together and you can start to play your game. The logical extension of rivers obviously is boats, so we move on to boats and aircraft next. We've got a bit on logistics coming as well, and in the middle of all that I'm going to sneak in a battle report. Now, I don't like doing battle reports. If they're not done well, I find them sort of turgid and boring, but what I'm going to do is to run you through a game that I played recently under the heading of solo game hints, because whilst the game itself was quite interesting, it was more the mechanics that went on in the background that made it easy to play, and that's the sort of thing that I want to share with you as to how to do it without an awful lot of faff and fuss. Thanks for keep watching. I'll see you soon. Thank you very much for your interest in what I do. There's more information at www.fightyourownbattles.co.uk.